Welcome back to another feature preview, this time about our newest edition, logging. From the main page, you can see the logs navigation item here in the side. And from there, we get right started with all the API requests that were happening throughout the last days and weeks. We can see the status code, if it succeeded or if it failed. We can see the name and the method of the route, and we can see the timestamp when this request was actually happening. And then we have a few filters right here. We can filter by the route. For example, I want to see all the get users executions that happened. We can then filter also by status. We currently have three options: the 200 status code range from 200 to 199. These are the status codes usually where everything went all right. 400 means usually that there was something wrong with the user input or with the request itself. So maybe authentication was missing. That is a prime example for 400. Also, the body validation might have failed, so that the body validation that you've set inside your API endpoint might have triggered and prevented the request from going through. And then we have the 500 range. This usually means that something internally happened. It's a server error. Some action might have failed, or anything other that unusual happened there. We have the date filter. You can filter by dates and date ranges to see when requests in this date range happened. And you also have on the right side the body that went into the request, into the endpoint, the header that were passed on, and the action log is the third tab here. The action log you already know from the debug mode. It basically shows you all the output that the actions produced and all the output that is then accessible to further and lower actions down the road in your API flow. We see the response that was responded to the endpoint, and we see the headers that responded. And all of this shows you the items, and we can immediately from here jump for this item into the debug mode, say view in my builder, and I'll see the request just as it happened in the debug mode, as I already know the debug mode with all the more details that you know and need to further dive into the issue. You can see what went in, you see all the actions, which path the request was taking, and from here you can then use all the other features with resending and the authentication and setting headers and testing through Postman, as you already know. Then we have the workflow tab. Here I see all my workflows that happened, my time-based, so my schedule-based workflows, as well as my event-based workflows. Those also with the parameters that were passed on. And here also really crucial, we have the resend button already on this view. So you can say, okay, let me quickly test my time-based workflow from here. Let me resend that, test if still everything is all right. The same with the event-based. And here we also have similar filters by name, here by status, simply by succeeded or failed, and also by date. And yeah, this is a new feature. We hope you're excited about it. We definitely are. It is a good way to just keep track of what is happening and see on a quick glance what failed and what went wrong, and to debug further. And yeah, try it out, see if you like it, and have a good one.